Good evening, everybody. And YouTube still being YouTube for some ungodly reason. Um, Although I did figure out a way to make the chat lag go away, I think. Um, I was watching Greg's stream and like I get 30 messages at once, be able to communicate for like 30 seconds and then lag and then go. And then I switched to theater mode on YouTube, and that went away. So maybe anecdotal and the maybe a coincidence, but it worked. I'm gonna stick with it that it worked. uh Gato Negro, good to see you. M35, Mexi Girl, Grunge, Nura, LJ. No, I don't need a dwarf hamster, LJ. I don't need to add duties to my mom while I'm in Ukraine for a quarter of the year. Um, Happy Tuesday. Oh, uh, yeah, my mom's supposed to be coming back from her vacation with her sister, my aunt, tomorrow, so I will not be streaming tomorrow night. Um, Apologize in advance for that. Um, with all the stuff I've gotten done, I'm hoping I have some pleasant surprises for my mom when she gets home. Um, I have to be careful what I say because she might be watching right now. Maggie, good to see you too. Um, Steve Sain's taking over the number 2 spot. Uh, yeah, you guys are talking about the little badges. Top fans, you get XP on YouTube for watching now, and he who has the most watch time gets the number 1 spot, number 2 spot, and number 3 spot. Oh, YouTube's trying to mimic Twitch a little bit there. And I think that might be the system that is causing the lag with chat. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, let's get right into the after action report from Ukraine for today. Operational information as of 8 a.m. July 1st regarding the Russian invasion. As always, they start the report with "Glory to Ukraine." You can turn them off on your side if you want to do that. It's just the options in the YouTube chat. The 3 little dots. The 1,224th day of the Russian Federation's large-scale armed aggression against Ukraine has begun. Ukrainian defenders are steadfastly holding back the onslaught of the Russian occupiers, inflicting significant losses on the enemy. In total, 146 clashes were recorded over the past day. Yesterday, the enemy launched 1 missile strike using 4 missiles, as well as 51 airstrikes, dropping 79 guided bombs on the positions of Ukrainian units and settlements. In addition, Russia carried out 5,304 artillery strikes, with 107 being from MLRSs. They also used 3,776 kamikaze drones to cause destruction. The aggressor carried out airstrikes, in particular in the areas of the settlements of Mirolubivka, Mirnograd, Lysivka, Olhivska, Pidobny, Novopil in Donetsk, Melanivka, Vrgniana Teresa, and Novoandrivka in Zaporizhia. Over the past 24 hours, defense forces of Ukraine's aviation and missile forces and artillery as well have destroyed 12 areas of concentration of enemy personnel, weapons, and equipment, 1 command post, and 2 enemy artillery pieces. Moving to the individual directions and the deep state map, zooming into the North Slobodansk, Kursk, and Sumy area, Ukrainian defenders repelled 17 Russian attacks over the past day. The enemy carried out an additional 18 airstrikes, dropping 35 more guided bombs, and carried out 323 artillery strikes, with 16 being from MLRSs. You can see by the arrows where the assaults are happening in general. Of course, pushing back in Andriivka and to the west of Andriivka. Heading down to the south Slobodansk and Kharkiv directions, the enemy tried 10 times to break through the defensive lines of our defenders in the areas of Voschansk, Zeleny. Oh, I lost it. Come on. Zoom in. Glebokki, Voschanski Krutoy, okay, let's coming over to the east side of Kharkiv for Pirshy, Krasny Pirshy, Dovhenka, and Petro Ivanovka, which I'm not entirely sure where that one is at. It's a smaller town. I just can't remember quite where that one is. Moving on to the Kupiansk direction, where 4 attacks by the invaders took place yesterday. Our defenders repelled the enemy assault actions near Golubivka, Pishkiani, and in the directions of where to go? Novo Osinova. That's another one that does not show up on the deep state map, unfortunately. So heading to the south to Limon direction. The enemy attacked 19 times, trying to wedge into our defenses near the settlements of Bilogorivka, okay, that's a new one as well. Yeah, I'm not sure where Bilogorivka is. I'll have to look into that one. Kolodazny. Oh, no, that's Kopanki. Where'd Kolodazny go? Sorry, my mind was thinking it was up here by Grivkivka, but Kolodazny I knew was on the map. I just, Novimir, Novovodany, Ridkobub, Torsky. I keep losing track of where I was at. And in the directions of Seredidny and Sandry Glovove. Also Olofivka. And that is it for the Liman direction. So we jump to the south to Servisk, where our soldiers successfully stopped 4 enemy attacks in the directions of Girogorivka and Zyanivka. I have a feeling that's like a mistranslation, misspelling. No, I guess not. Zyanivka, to the south of Servisk, directly to the south. That's a town I have not seen mentioned before. Usually they're saying Fedorivka or Perizny, Femivka. Ivano is holding on, but is in the operation zones now for the Russians. Yeah, Russia is doing a massive amount of assaults, trying to push forward in all areas. Ukraine is holding their lines for the most part, with a few minor exceptions. Heading on from Servisk to Kramatorsk direction, the invaders attacked 6 times in the areas of Chasiv Yar, Pretechny, and in the directions of Bilogora. Again, these small towns that keep popping up and you have to zoom way in for them. These are towns of like maybe 15, 20 homes, and Russia is having problems approaching them. Moving from Kramatorsk and Chasiv Yar to the south to Toretsk, the enemy carried out 6 attacks in the Toretsk direction. The attacks that took place in Toretsk itself, Divlivka area, and towards Yablunivka. Toretsk is a strong battle, even though Russia controls a majority of the city. Ukrainians are not giving it up, and there is still strong fighting happening in the city. Heading over from Toretsk to still the most active area of the defense line, the cross direction, our defenders have stopped 41 assault actions of the aggressor in the areas of, let me zoom in here, Rusin Yar, Razin, Novotoretsky, Mirny, another one of those small towns that you have to zoom in a lot for. Mirny Promin, Novosorhivka, Novosorhivka, the one I know is all the way over here. There is another one over here, but it's just not labeled. I'm not sure which one they're meaning. Volodonivka. I still have not been able to locate that settled. Oh, wait, never mind. Volodormivka. Right there. Okay. Now I know where that one's at. Mirolubivka. Mirnograd. Lisivka. Udashny. Muravka. Novopavlivka. And Gorogovo, right here. Uh, Russia's still trying to push towards the territorial boundary of the Dnipro Oblast. And you see they've reached up to it in the Novopavlivka direction, where the enemy carried out 21 assaults yesterday in the areas of the settlements of Zaporizhia, Kumar, Per, Perabodova, Pidubny, Fedorivka, Surchenko, and Novopil. This situation is getting pretty interesting. Even though it's almost cut off, Ukraine is still fighting fiercely for this area and is mostly being done with drones. It's quite an interesting situation. Russia just cannot assert control over it because of Ukrainian drone operations. We've seen a few videos of this area without realizing it. I'll try to get those pointed out when we watch the videos later. Moving over from Novopavlivka, we head to Huliopol direction, where our defenders repelled 2 enemy attacks in the directions of Malinivka. Heading over from Huliopol to Orhiv, the occupation troops stormed positions of the defense forces in the Kamiansky area one time. Heading even further to the west to Pridniprovsky and Kherson area, our defenders successfully stopped 1 enemy assault. It does not show where, but in general, they're coming out of Oleshki, or they're trying to take over the river island deltas. The river delta islands, sorry. Strike that, reverse it. Yeah. Zooming out to the fuller picture in the Volyn or in Polizia directions. If the map would load, there we go. No signs of the formation of enemy offensive groups have been detected. Our soldiers are inflicting significant losses in manpower and equipment on the occupation forces and are actively undermining the enemy's offensive potential in the rear. In total, it goes into the losses of the Russian Federation for yesterday. We'll cover that with the graphic here shortly. We end the report with join the defense forces, Razom Peremojemo, Slava Ukraina. Take a minute to switch back over to the air alert map. I hate salience too, but that salience kind of a weird one. There isn't Ukrainian positions. Okay, let me quantify that. According to some of my friends in that area, there isn't physical positions in that pocket. It's just drone control. Russia has not been able to control that area because of Ukrainian drone operators. Why grasshopper? Oh, Julke. Oh, thunderstorms for you today? Trying to get caught up with chat. Yeah, we were pushing hundreds for like all of last week. And then this week, we've had a couple days in the mid 70s. And then we're going to be right back up into the high 90s. It sucks. I hate this heat. Yes, I'm hoping it cools off too soon. Um, two ceiling fans going, yeah. I'm so happy I got the air conditioner installed and working. That makes a huge difference in my life. Yes, more drones, more drones, more drones. So all caught up with chat. Let's head over and take a look at the Russian losses for the last day of June. This is as of 8 a.m. July 1st, 1224th day of the full-scale invasion. Yesterday, Russia lost an additional 970 personnel. It's been almost a month since we've seen numbers under 1,000. Hold on a second. Let me. The total losses so far since the full-scale invasion for Russia is now over 1,020,980 personnel. 3 more tanks were destroyed, 6 more armored personnel vehicles, an additional 37 artillery systems taken out, 144 UAVs, 103 vehicles, and that is all for the Russian losses today. Yeah, there's a reason I don't want a vacation in Australia. I know it's freaking hot down there. I lived in Arizona, and I know heat. Ended up with 3 heat strokes, and I moved here to South Dakota to get away from that heat. That with that, let's head to Zelensky's address to the people for today. Pause. So let me turn down the volume a little bit. Give me a little more time to read by going to 90% speed. And yeah, I was driving home from and saw it touchdown, disappear. Not really sure where that was at, LJ, but yeah, I got to see it while driving. Well, on to Zelensky's address for today. Dear Ukrainians, today the entire day was spent clearing the rubble after the strike on Mariupol. Tragically, there are casualties, both military and civilian. The commander of the 110th Separate Mechanized Brigade, as well as other men from the brigade, were killed. I wanted to pause it here and make a comment. The channel that I use a lot for my videos, Warriors Ukrainian. The guy's brother is in the 110th. He actively fundraises for the 110th, and a lot of his videos are from the 110th. So yeah, this is hitting kind of close to home for him, and thus for me as well, because I talk to him on a regular basis. Okay. My phone is blowing up. Let me get through this and I'll see what somebody's sending me on the phone. And to the person sending me stuff, you need to do that before stream so I can look at it without interrupting the stream. Please and thank you for future reference. My condolences to all their families and loved ones. A full investigation into the circumstances of this strike is ongoing, and I am awaiting more information. Everyone who was wounded, and this was a missile strike. I am awaiting a report. Everyone who was wounded, and this was a missile strike, is receiving the necessary assistance. That just seems odd for how they translated that. More than 30 civilians were also wounded. We will definitely retaliate against the Russians for this strike. Many different meetings took place today, mainly preparatory meetings. We are getting ready for the upcoming meetings in Europe, particularly in Denmark, as well as meetings with other partners of ours. One of the key topics will be weapons production, our joint investments, our joint projects. Today marks the beginning of a new presidency of the Council of the European Union. The Danish presidency is important for us that this period, the next 6 months, be truly productive. In terms of security issues and including the defense industry and in terms of sanctions, so that all pressure on Russia truly works and does so in a way that brings this war to an end and genuinely limits Russia's potential for aggression. We have clear evidence confirmed by our partners that sanctions are truly painful for Russia. And if pressure keeps growing, it will push Russia to think beyond the front and hatred of its neighbors. Today I spoke with the president of Azerbaijan. I thanked him for supporting Ukraine, our independence, and territorial integrity. I also expressed our full support and solidarity with Azerbaijan. Right now, Russia is fomenting a new campaign of hostility against its neighbors after the brutal killing of 2 people from Azerbaijan's community in Russia. It is even threatening the Azerbaijani state. All our partners must view this in the same way, as a threat not to one country, but as a threat to everyone, to all those neighboring Russia. By killing some and humiliating others, Russia is trying to intimidate and subjugate everyone. This must be stopped. There must be sufficient protection for the lives of every nation and absolute respect for human dignity. And a few more things. Ukraine continues to fight for justice, for the just punishment of Russia for its crimes of aggression against our state and our people, and a fair accountability for all those who have personally chosen Russia over a peaceful and normal life. Today, I signed documents to submit our agreement with the Council of Europe on the establishment of the free trade, of a special tribunal for the crime of aggression for ratification. And we must clearly define the timeline. 2 specific deadlines for when all procedural steps are required to launch the tribunal will be completed, and when the tribunal will actually begin its work. I expect a report on this from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine and the legal team of the presidential office immediately. After the agreement on the tribunal is ratified, we are also continuing our work on the Ukrainian sanctions track. New decisions of the National Security and Defense Council on sanctions will be made soon. The relevant materials are already being prepared. Today I signed a decree to honor our warriors with state awards. Such decrees are issued almost daily, and this time it is a rather large one. It includes 414 defenders, majority of whom 354 warriors are from the National Guard of Ukraine. Among them are Azov fighters, defenders of Mariupol, and men we brought back from Russian captivity. We continue working to secure the release of all of our people. Every warrior, every civilian, every adult, and of course, every child still held in Russian captivity. I thank everyone who is helping us. I thank all of our people. Glory to Ukraine. And for me, Heroam Slava. That was Zelensky's address for the day, and oh, my voice is not doing good after that one. That was a long one. Give you a bit of a preview as I scroll back to the beginning of the day with the drone report. Quite a few more videos today. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, quite a bit to cover today. But last night, Russia launched 52 drones. 47 were taken down. 14 were shot down. 33 suppressed by electronic warfare. And for our first video of the night, exclusive footage from the combat operation of a Ukrainian-made UJ-26 drone Bobber in Crimea. Hit a Panzer, Neoboom radar, a lot of radars, wow. As well as an Su-30 fighter jet. Here is that video. Yeah, I got the scoop on that for later, Linda. A drone attack is reported in Izhevsk, Russia. It says an electrical mechanical plant here, but later known to be a Russian ammunition manufacturer. One of the videos here, you'll definitely be able to tell that because of, well, the secondary explosions. As someone's phone's going off in the background on that video, reminding me I needed to check my messages. I first have to figure out what freaking app you messaged me on to make my phone blow up. Um, on the Kerch Peninsula, S-300, S-400 air defense missile systems and radars may have been hit. This is a picture taken of them. Images from the firm's NASA satellite imagery, and a view of zoom out of that area. So good to know Ukraine is hitting and keeping the defenses weak around the Kerch Bridge. Makes me wonder how soon another attack on Kerch Bridge is going to be. More videos from Irkutsk.
Господи ты, боже мой. Очуметь.
So some still photos. Everest is 1,300 kilometers from Ukraine. And that's not the attack, that's secondary explosions from the fire. So yeah, that tells you right there what was being manufactured in that factory. Another angle of those explosions, those secondary explosions, right here. And I'm sorry, I must be an evil man because I laughed at the lady's reaction in this video.
Блин. Там еще взрывается!
I'm sorry, I gotta play that again.
Блин.
You hear the secondaries going off. I don't know why I like the helicopter videos for some reason. I think that's because I want to fly in one of them. I don't want to fly it. I just want to be a passenger. Next video is a Ukrainian MiG destroys a mercenary gathering point with a precision guided bomb. Video from the Air Force of Ukraine. So not a whole lot left of that building that was being used as a staging point for Russia's aggression. Saratov oil refinery was also attacked. Here is video from the oil refinery in Russia getting hit today. Um, Video of the modernized UAV Luti flying towards its targets in Russia. Uh, 8 regions of Russia were attacked last night. Give you an idea of how far Ukraine is able to reach. Of course, hitting the close stuff. Saratov oil refinery on near Kazakhstan, and way up here hitting the ammo manufacturer. Well, Ukraine definitely keeping the pressure on Russian logistics. At that ammunition factory, unfortunately, 23 people did perish, 48 were injured. But when you make weapons of war, you take a risk. Yeah, and that is definitely an angry bird, Nura. Okay, that was the English translation of that one. Hello, everybody. The Kupol plant was blown up in Ivisk. I sent this video to Chungus. Told him he needs to make this video the chorus for his next song. I hope you guys enjoy. A batch of Russian prisoners, refilling the exchange fund, and I can just see the memes from this now.
Раз, два, три, Путин кто? Громко, блядь! Громче, блядь! 15 раз! Путин кто? Считает. Громче, блядь! Еще громче! А теперь с классами похлопали, как тюлени, блядь! Быстро! Все! Красавцы!
Yeah, sitting there asking him, who is Putin? Hulo. Of course, being the first of the month, a lot of the groups are going to be putting out videos of their tallies for the month. The first one I get is from the Defense Air Forces. 93 Kinzhal cruise missiles, 14 Iskander-M ballistic missiles, 12 Caliber cruise missiles, 13 Kinzhal 59 guided aircraft missiles, 27 Iskander cruise missiles, 2,453 Shahed type UAVs, 659 reconnaissance drones, and 1,479 other drones. That is for the month of June. Clearly expressing that the drone wars are happening now. Three drones fell on the territory of Saratov oil refinery this morning. The video is not the first attack on the Enterprise. Thus, in February of 2025, as a result of the attack on the refinery, low-pressure gas pipeline was damaged and caught fire. And this is, I guess, the video from today. Uh, Yeah, it depends on the situation in which they're made. If they were forced to do that answer like that, or it's not what is done, it's how it's done. So I doubt the Ukrainians violated the Geneva Convention. They just probably told them, "Hey, when I ask you who Putin is, you say Hulo, okay?" And of course, the propaganda that they feed their own people, I don't think it needs any convincing from the Ukrainian side.
Okay. Put my hands together when I pray, I trust God. You might think I'm crazy, you might think I'm kinda odd. You might think I'm crazy, I'm acting like a fool or something. You can't talk when you're built like.
So if anybody knows this song, Built Like a What? By the way, this is shoot. For Cross Direction, Flying Skull epically destroyed two Russian motorcyclists. Watch that again because I did not pretext the video.
Put my hands together when I pray, I trust God. You might think I'm crazy, you might think I'm kinda odd. You might think I'm crazy, I'm acting like a fool or something. You can't talk when you're built like.
Blindfolding is not against the Geneva Convention. Blindfolding is necessary for security. If that prisoner escapes, do you want them reporting where they gather prisoners at? How they transport them, where they transport them to? Blindfolding is a necessity in war. One drone drop activates anti-personnel mines, which leads to an interesting cascade taking out the entire Russian assault bikers. One more time, that is a short video. First one, and then cascading anti-personnel mines blowing up because of that drone drop. The company of unmanned systems of the State Border Guard destroy enemy targets in the cursed direction. Armored vehicles, 3 cars, a mortar position, a takeoff and control site for drones, and 8 dugouts. In the Zaporizhia direction, soldiers of the 128th hit a 2S4 Tupolev anti-personnel armored personnel carrier, a hidden ATV, a car, and Bukhanka. I believe the Bukhanka is the loaf vans. Cool video from the 128th Brigade. Uh, Dark Arts, that's a different Canty paying you. I'm sorry, I didn't know. um, so since you want to address this live on stream, let's do this live on stream. With my trip to Ukraine coming up, I'm going to need moderators at a different time. I've been trying to get a hold of the mods I have to ask them if they are going to be able to be around for those different times, or do I need to find new mods? That's all I was trying to ask. So now the channel's growing. It's going to need more moderation. It's going to need people to help me coordinate things while I'm in Ukraine doing streams on my phone. I just don't have all the options I do on my computer that on my phone, and I was going to need mods to step up and take up different roles. If you are awake during daylight hours in EU or Ukraine and want to be a mod, contact me. I'm going to need more because vertical streams bring in the trolls. Moving on, the dollar is having its worst start in over 50 years. Down more than 10% in the last 6 months against major trading currencies, according to the New York Times. Trump's aggressive tariffs and isolationist foreign policy are driving the shift. As you can see, this is the track for the American dollar as the year is going on from January 1st at the 0 point. We've had bad years before, but we are in the worst year ever for the American dollar exchange rate. Thank you, Mr. Frump. Cluster munitions from last night's attacks are being discovered in the Lviv region. Mertzi, I know you're in chat. If you're going into Lviv, these are not play balls. Don't pick them up. Yeah, that's part of the other issue too, Andrew. So, um, yeah, definitely be more danger is happening in the western part of Ukraine because of these cluster munitions in the Russian missiles. If you do visit Ukraine, be on the lookout for these things. Um, yeah, they're not some kid's play ball that was lost. Stay away. Um, my understanding is they're about the size, they're between a baseball and a softball size. They do have the measurement tape on here, but without the numbers cut off with the numbers cut off at the bottom, it's hard to use that as a reference. Of course, after the shelling of Mariupol, Zelensky talked about this in his address today. There are casualties among the military and civilians in Mariupol. The commander of the 110th Separate Mechanized Brigade was killed. According to the president, more than 30 people were injured. He assured there will be a response. Again, forwarded from Warriors Ukrainian. And, he does fundraising, and all his fundraising goes to help the 110th Brigade. Shout out to Warriors Ukrainian and his never-ending fundraising for the 110th, especially in these sad times, losing their commander and several other members of the 110th. I forgot where Azerbaijani journalists. This is part of what kicked off the Russian aggression towards Azerbaijani civilians in Russia. So the Azerbaijani journalist claimed that Russian purposely shot down Azerbaijani airline plane on orders from the Russian Ministry of Defense. This is a recording they showed in which an order to open fire on the Azal flight can be heard. This plane was shot down in December of last year on the 25th, killing 38 passengers.
Азимут 338, дальность 7000, высота 490, скорость 118, курсом на 230. Да, дальность уже 7. Огонь! Огонь, говорю! Есть ход! Пропущено! Повторно! Еще раз огонь! Есть огонь!
Again, reportedly, this is the video of the Russian position firing on the civilian airline. If anybody knows Russian and wants to translate, I'd be happy to hear a translation of this video. And as promised, Linda mentioned this earlier. Pentagon halts weapons shipments to Ukraine amid concerns over U.S. stockpiles. The weapons being delayed include dozens of Patriot interceptor rounds that can defend against incoming Russian missiles, thousands of 155mm high explosive howitzer munitions, more than 100 Hellfire missiles, more than 250 precision guided missile systems known for, the HIMARS missiles, dozens of each of Stinger surface-to-air missiles, AIM air-to-air missiles, and grenade launchers. That's a heck of a lot of stuff not being sent to Ukraine that they were promised. Um, you know, are our stockpiles really that low? I don't think so. Want to talk about a lucky Russian soldier? On a quad bike with a trailer, he miraculously speeds through the anti-personnel minefield in Donetsk, somehow avoiding the detonation. In the video, you could see the trailer bouncing all over the place from the explosions of those mines. Here is that video. Oh, come on, let me make that bigger. It won't let me do it. But just watch that trailer bounce. I'm surprised the trailer stayed hooked onto the ATV with that much bouncing around. Looks like Mr. Trump wants to deport U.S. citizens.
Hey, you know, a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. We have a lot of bad criminals that came into this country, and they came in stupidly. It was an unforced error. It was an incompetent president that allowed it to happen. It was an auto pen maybe that allowed it to happen, and it did happen. But
I can't stand that. I can't listen to that. Unfortunately, looks like the big, fugly, horrific bill did pass the Senate 51-50. Goes on to the House of Representatives for them to vote on. And the last thing I have for you tonight is this kind of struck me as funny. This is a message post from the White House official channels. Alligator Alcatraz, make America safe again. You know how Trump is loving his abbreviations? This one takes it a bit too far. You abbreviate that out, M-A-S-A, massa. Yeah, is he trying to get people to call him master, but like in an old Southern accent, if you get my meaning? So, yeah, this is an official White House post and is on the White House webpage with massa. Yes, massa. This is horrific, and I swear if I ever see one of those Trump hats with the S in it, I'm going to slap that right off their head. Maybe it's just me, but that's how I took that. I might just be a little bit jaded. No, I know I'm jaded. But that's taking it a bit too far. More than a bit too far. That's just putting it out there, in my opinion. That is all I have for today. Senor Chungus is off streaming DayZ. Let me pull up his stream. and share, copy. So I will see you guys all over there. And have a good night. Please remember to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Most importantly, though, keep supporting Ukraine. Have a good night and stay safe, everybody. Corey's dough. Oh, tortilla dough. Are you recognizing the end of the stream now, knowing I can pick you up? Oh, she always wants to say hello. Anyways, I'll see you over on Chungus's. Catch you there. Have a good one, everybody, and good night. Say bye, Sonia. Huh? Say bye. Go bye bye. Bye bye.